Welcome to the Sid City Social Club for Friday, June 24th. We're glad you're here. Over to Sid.
Well, it's lovely to see everybody. It really is. It's the day the day they quashed Roe versus Wade in the United States of America, finally came down from the Supreme Court. You have every right to be incredibly depressed, incredibly angry about that. But there is a silver lining, and that is that this decision can be made by Congress and it can be written into law. And like other countries around the world, developed countries, and Australia and Europe, these are laws. They're nothing to do with the Supreme Court. And maybe we should remove that responsibility from the Supreme Court, where they've removed it from themselves. We just have to get up and vote. Well, those who can. I'm not allowed, but those of you who can. And codify this in law and get this argument out of the way, and hopefully it'll motivate a bunch of people. But the thing that really interested me, because I knew this was coming, was Clarence Thomas's aside. I don't know if you've read anything about that or heard anything about it. Was that he said that the Supreme Court should have a look at in the spirit of their quashing Roe versus Wade, quashing contraception, quashing same-sex marriage, and quashing same-sex relationships. Crazy talk. Now, for some reason, Colin, you are stuck on my screen forever, but I'm sure someone else will pop in any second. I know, look at you. You look hilarious. I don't know if everybody else is seeing the image I'm seeing. You are literally, that screen is completely taken up by Colin Kerrigan in Sussex at slow-mo pace, and blurred, Gaussian blurred. There you go.
Get the Barbra Streisand filter on.
That's very funny. Yeah. So yeah, let's get this party started.
Okay. Some of you may remember that we were working on an anthology of essays for the social club, and what it meant to people, how it kind of got them through the pandemic. It's not quite ready, but I did want to share. This is the cover.
Oh wow! Look at that.
I know, it looks kind of like professional.
That is really beautiful, really grown up, really adult.
Our first guest today is Tanya. It's her birthday, and she made this art.
Tanya.
Hello.
Ridiculously talented. That is like that's just amazing.
It's just scribbling. I do this when I'm sitting in long meeting and I'm bored. If I try to do this on purpose, it doesn't work out.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. I'm trying to think what it reminds me of. It's utterly original. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Well done. Well, happy birthday.
Yes, thank you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tanya.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
There you go. That's lovely. It's beautiful.
I was really looking forward to the birthday shout out.
Oh.
And I can tell you guys, 60 is a very strange number.
Do you feel anything?
Any longer to be young.
Do you feel anything at all? Because 60 now is really is pretty young.
Not really. I mean, most of people I'm working with are 30 or younger.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Oh, for them. They're kind to me. They don't let me. They don't pass me down.
Yeah, yeah, I completely understand.
Right behind, they think, oh, this is one.
Well, you should try and limit the amount of times you look at yourself through the eyes of other people as often as possible.
I'm trying not to.
Yes, that way madness lies. I can't even imagine if I thought of myself as someone else looking at me. But I'm just right there with you. I'm 60 in a minute, like 10 minutes, 25, So I'm right around the corner, and I can't imagine unless I have, I don't know, I fall off my bike, that I'll feel any different. And I don't feel much different to when I was 45. Not that I can remember.
My brother always says it's just you're 1 day older than yesterday. So what makes a difference?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm healthy and I'm fine, so no reason to complain.
Good. That's really great. I had an MRI. It's a scan when you go in a tube. They didn't find anything. So I'm still just the same as I was when I was 45. And I'm sure you are too. Except I've got loads of white hair everywhere. Yeah,
yes.
exactly.
Yeah, I stopped dyeing my hair 2 years ago before the pandemic. So I was through it.
Do you like it? Do you like it gray? Because I do.
I like it. I think it fits to me, and as long as my eyebrows are still dark, I'm fine with it.
Clinging onto the eyebrows. It's because I think it's really beautiful when people have naturally gray hair. I think it's a gorgeous. You can tell just by how many young kids are dyeing their hair gray, which also looks great, by the way.
Yeah.
So I've always tried to persuade people to do that, but it takes such courage. It takes such courage to stop dyeing your hair if you're used to dyeing your hair, because you're going to look at yourself differently in the mirror from then on. But I think there's a kind of serenity that comes across when you have beautiful hair like yours and it's gray. My mum was salt and pepper at the age of 29. So she had loads of gray hair right away. And it looked fabulous. It looked great. So maybe it's because I'm used to it because of my mom. So who knows? Maybe the rest of the world don't like it. But I certainly do. And I certainly encourage everybody who's on the edge to go ahead and not dye your hair for a little while. Except you got that horrible area of while your dye's leaving. And you look like a skunk for a while. And then you're fine. How are you generally? Didn't we just talk recently?
We talked recently, so I just want to keep this short because I see there are a lot of other people wanting to talk to you, and I just wanted my birthday shout out.
Well, you got that.
So because it was last month.
Well, it's lovely seeing you again, and it's lovely to wish you a happy birthday. Happy 60th.
Thank you.
It is. You're officially an adult now.
Okay, I can go with that. Bye.
Thanks, Tanya. Happy birthday. All right, we've got another birthday person here, Saffron.
Ooh, Saffron.
We haven't talked to in like 3 years, I think.
Such a great name.
No.
Oh, where are you? I can't see you yet. No, don't worry. Yeah, that's it. I've got you. There you are. How are you, Saffron? It's good to see you.
Thank you. I've only spoken once before, so I'm a bit of a...
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll get over ourselves any second now. How are you? It's been what, a year since we talked?
Yeah, I suppose about a year. Yeah.
Fantastic. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm still doing the herbal medicine course.
And how is that going? Because of course, that's such a complicated subject. I mean, it's such a difficult. I mean, there's so much to learn. Sort of all of human knowledge is being dumped in your lap. How is that hanging in? How is that working out for you? Is it different now that you'll be able to attend school, attend college?
Well, there's still a lot of Zoom because it's at the moment because I'm in the third year now, so it's like on to the first 2 years where they called it the apprenticeship. It's not like an apprenticeship, and then the second 2 years are the clinical or as a practitioner training for
right.
You want to be a herbalist. So we're doing a lot of clinical hours, which is on Zoom. So it's mostly that at the moment.
Right. Okay. I see.
But it's really, I mean, I'm loving it, and I love, it is a lot of studying and stuff, but I'm really enjoying it.
I love to hear that. That's wonderful. And is there a thing that you would like? Have you changed your mind over the course of your course, your education, in terms of focus, in terms of what you're aiming at?
Well, I suppose I have in that when I first started, I was thinking about treating horses mostly, and now I'm definitely going more for people. Okay,
because you were into horses last time we talked.
Yes, actually, we did.
Yes.
But, I mean, I still love them, but
of course, you don't fall out of love with horses. Nobody does that. Maybe this is something that you've learned about. I was reading recently, even Starbucks put it in their milkshakes.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. There's that. I was reading, is that something that you would cover? That's things like turmeric. I was reading that the amount of turmeric you actually need for it to have an effect on you is so vast that that having turmeric in your milkshakes is completely pointless. Is that true?
It depends on the person who's taking it, because different people respond in different ways. Of
course.
And also, you'd need to be taking it for a few days. Like,
right.
It's not saying that just taking it once would do anything, really.
Right, I see. And what do you think of other supplements? Like, I'm just bending your ear here. I know you haven't qualified yet, but I'm just curious because you're way more expert than I will ever be. Because there's a debate about vitamin supplements and all of those things, about how efficacious they are. What's the word on this on the academic street about that stuff?
Well, I mean, vitamin supplements isn't something that we learn like a lot of in depth about. I mean, it depends on the form that they're in, because there's some forms that are more easily absorbed than others. How well that's working for people varies a lot.
Yeah.
So some supplements you can say, particularly B vitamins, you can get them methylated or not methylated.
Right.
So if you get a methylated B vitamin, that's already been done. So if a person's body doesn't methylate very well, then they still have it absorbed. But if you get one that's not methylated and your methylation doesn't work well, then you're not going to get the same benefit from it.
Yeah.
That would be a large part of it. And also just in general, the quality. I mean, it applies to other vitamins, but just the quality of the supplement can really affect whether it works or not.
That makes huge sense. And you really hit the nail on the head when you said that it depends who you are, because everybody is so different. They react differently to everything.
Yeah.
That it makes it very different, which is why we need you, to come along and go, oh, I'm going to get to know you. And now I know you, this is what I think you should have. I tell you something that I've kind of always thought, and which is completely unprofessional without any qualification whatsoever, is that I think that choosing the right food is key to a really good shot at being healthy. And a lot of people don't have a choice but to choose food that isn't as healthy as other foods. And I don't mean going on a particular diet, but eating a completely round, normal, omnivorous or vegetarian or vegan or whatever it is you choose, but just finding the very best of it. Is that now that you've started that particular course, are you like really finicky about how good the food is you're eating?
I suppose I probably always was, but it definitely does. Something that we have learned, and as we're repeated a lot, is that every person is different, and that's the thing about like doing the consultation and getting, like you said, to know kind of person, to know what to give them. But also, but yes, the diet, it is, and it can be so different for different people.
Yeah, I mean, I've got quite high cholesterol. I don't know whether that's just endemic in me. I don't know because the 2 times it's been tested, it's been on the top end of the scale, and people always go, oh, but you're not huge. Apparently, people think you're supposed to be, bigger if you've got high cholesterol, but it's absolutely not true. You can be any shape and have high cholesterol. It may be genetic. I don't know. It may be something to do with where I come from. It may be the fact that I have a lot of tea and I drink a lot of dairy because of that, because I put milk in my tea and I love my cheese. So I've had to, I'm changing my diet a bit. I've got oat milk, which is, if I told you about this like a month ago, and I thought that was the most depressing thing I could ever drink, is oat milk. It's not even milk, but it's actually all right. It's all right. It's not tea. It's not my tea. It's not the tea I love, but it'll do. Are you into all of those sort of things as well?
Yeah, and I have. But yes, with the cholesterol, it can be both. It can be for some people, just yes, genetically it is higher, and also dairy is something that does have quite an effect on it.
Yeah. So what are you doing for fun these days? What are you? Obviously, you're going out a bit. Where are you again?
I'm in South Tipperary, if there's anybody who knows where that is.
Okay, yeah. I don't know, but I've heard the song. Are you able to get out and about?
Yes, there's really no more restrictions here. I think there's masks on public transport and that's it.
Yeah, there are no restrictions here either. Are you enjoying that? Are you enjoying the ability to socialize and to hang out with friends or one or two people, perhaps?
I'm not the most social person anyway, but it is nice to be able to go out and go for walks and stuff.
Get to the park.
Yeah, but I'm doing a lot of gardening.
Ooh, what are you doing? Because obviously you finished planting everything. What have you got?
Try to keep it on weeds is something. Also, I'm harvesting herbs, and because in our course we're encouraged to grow as much as we can.
Of course, that makes in complete sense.
Get kind of to know the plants and to understand, see them growing and get kind of a understanding of them.
What have you got growing? Unless it's a long, exhaustive list, have you got anything that what's up?
Leonoris cardica. So that's something that I'm very pleased with at the moment. It grew huge this year, and I'm drying quite a bit of that.
Fantastic. What's exciting about that plant?
It's many different. There's lots of different things. It's relaxing, and helps with stress and physical tension as well in muscles, but also antispasmodic. So for any spasms in the digestive tract or anything, it helps with that as well.
Right. This is going to be so exciting. You're going to be our resident herbalist, our proper druid. You're going to be the Sid City druid. Anyway, listen, I love talking to you, Saffron. Thank you so much for coming in and telling us all about that. If you've got any information that you can impart about people who want to find out a bit more about herbal remedies and how to tell the charlatan from, a good site, a good place, please put it in the link, and people can go and check for themselves, see if they like the sound of any of it.
Yes, thank you, and lovely to talk to you as well. And I hope I ramble too much.
No, I'm the rambler. You're good as gold, good as saffron.
Thank you.
Thanks, Saffron, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Did we wish Saffron happy birthday? Did we do that?
Not yet.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Saffron.
Happy birthday,
Saffron.
Happy birthday, Saffron.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That was a good close call. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go check in with Mimi. It's been a really long time since we talked to her too.
Mimi.
Hi.
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 Hi, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's been way too long actually, and that's entirely my fault.
No, it isn't. You get to come if and when you please. There's no too long or too short.
Before I say anything else, hi to everyone from lovely Marlow. They're in America right now.
Oh, Marlow's in America.
Yeah, I honestly forgot where exactly because I'm not that good at American geography. But they're visiting a friend.
Now? Are they on now?
No, they're not here. They're busy, sadly.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. We tried to do it together, but last time they were visiting me, I was too busy with school stuff.
Fair enough. How is school stuff?
Today was actually my last official day of school. And I think it's a states bar exam. I'm not quite sure how to translate it. It's like a big end exam. It takes 2 months. And it starts in 1.5 weeks.
But you're completely prepared and laid back.
Oh yeah. I'm so prepared. Like the written ones I'm fine with. I'm good with written stuff. And honestly, my classmates came through really well. We've been working together incredibly well.
Yeah.
But honestly, the practical stuff terrifies me because we have to do it on a doll. We are the last class to not have the allowance to do it with real people. So we have one of these CPR dolls, the really heavy ones. It's about 90 kilos. And I have to pretend to talk to a person, do like the doctors talk and that stuff, when you gather information, I have to pretend the doll is a person, and I suck so much at that part.
That's so embarrassing.
I'm so bad at it, and I start to become really over exaggerating, because I'm like, I'm an actor now. I can do this so well. And then obviously it's not joints. The person doesn't have muscles. It's a doll. So whenever you're like, and the person lifts the arm, so you awkwardly take the arm of the doll, and then it does this.
Yeah. I'm sorry for you. That's terrible. You fit your last day. Exams start next week.
Yes.
They go on for a month.
2 months. It's because there's so many. It's like 4 written ones, and 4 oral exams. They're the last ones, and in between there's 1.5 months of all the practical exams. It's so many.
A glutton for punishment. You picked the toughest.
Yeah, you remember how I started university when we last talked, so I'm still doing that as well. And because I'm completely nuts, I decided to set my wedding date to my boyfriend 6 days after my last exam, because I'm a nutcase.
Oh my goodness. Well, that's something to look forward to. It
is.
That's really
Marlo will obviously be there as well. And some of my teachers know that I have my boyfriend and Marlo as my partner. And it really sent a shock through my Catholic school in the countryside.
What kind of did you just horrify them? Were they just they could not compute? They couldn't.
Some of them were really confused, and I have 2 very nice teachers, and they were so excited. They asked so many questions. It was really, really cool.
That's really nice. And so, what's the plan for the wedding? Is there a plan, or are you just going to play it low?
We're not into many traditional things, so there's not going to be any of these German or otherwise known rituals that are happening. The actual wedding itself is going to be extremely small, because his 3 living grandparents are in their end 80s, and COVID is still a thing. So the wedding will just be first grade family and Marlo, and his best friend, who will be the groom's person.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
best man is a weird word, but that's what they say.
The groom's person. That will be on a Thursday, and then 2 days later we're gonna have his cousins and then a few friends over. But again, it's gonna be really informal. We're gonna put up a grill outside to do some food. The people bring salads, and I'm gonna wear the dress again, because when am I gonna wear it again, right? So I'm gonna wear it twice.
Yeah. Not only that, you can always change it and wear it all the time, and you can wear it all the time if you feel like it anyway. Who cares?
True.
It's yours.
Dress shopping was fun. I wore the ones I could never ever afford, just to see what they're like. It was really
What's
fun.
The difference? Did you notice a difference?
So I wore, I'm gonna say, a Kim Kardashian dress. These really like, they're like so that. Tight. So, yeah.
Addams Family.
Yeah, exactly. I got an Addams Family dress for a cosplay, actually, and that's really comfortable. That wedding dress was the most uncomfortable things I've ever wore in my entire life, because you can't sit down. So instead of sitting, you need to do this weird sideways.
Wedding dresses aren't supposed to be comfortable. It's a weird thing. Between the shoes and the dress, you're in trouble.
Mine is so comfortable. It's very simple and it's very wide, so I can eat lots of cake. That was my goal.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. That's really cool. And how's Marlo doing? Just out of curiosity, are they okay?
Marlo is doing fine. They're graduated from the course they were doing in London, and they've moved to Leeds. And in Leeds, they're doing projects involving lots of trans people and doing trans and queer art. And they're still writing the book. They've been writing for a while now.
That's okay.
Exactly. There's so much, they've got so much stuff going on, and the move was really, really big. And they're gonna visit me for my exams, actually, to support me. Right. And I'm so gonna take them to every exam. They're gonna be in my car, ready to catch me when I'm crying. So yeah, they're gonna be here for 2 months then. So maybe if there's a meeting, we can come together.
That's fantastic. Oh, that's really cool. Yes, I'm sure you horrify some of your the more institutionalized adults in your place of
yeah. You know what was actually much bigger deal, and I wanted to say that because a few of my friends from back in the day are here as well. I met so many autistic people here during the meetings because, you know, there's lots of autistic people in the club. And that gave me the courage at that particular workplace to be like, hey, work guys, I'm autistic and I have autistic needs. And
Right.
it was a bit of a fight, but I did get some of that through. And it was actually a big fight some parts of the way. And, you know, I had these friends from the social club, and sometimes I was just able to go to them and be like, I'm fighting this battle again to get what I, not what I'm owed, that's the wrong word, what I can get, you know. And
what you deserve.
Yeah, thank you. Exactly. And in the end, I'm now allowed to wear earplugs during the exams, for example, because all these noises will distract me. And I was able to go to hospitals that are not that far away because I can't handle that much of a drive energy wise.
Great.
And that was really, really great. I don't think I would have been able to do that before I was in this club here.
You
so
are
that was
brilliant
really cool.
and brave for even reaching out. And whoever it is that helped you out should be proud of you. That's fantastic. I'm really glad. That's exactly what we're for.
Thank you.
Brilliant job. Brilliant job. So you're going to finish your exam in 2 months, 2.5 now from now.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
How are you going to wind down?
I think 1.5 weeks, and then university, my last year of university starts.
Okay, so screw that. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm trying to help out.
Yeah, I mean, actually, the fiance has not watched DS9 yet, so we started about 2 weeks ago. In between, when my brain gets too full of learning stuff, we watch an episode of DS9. So I don't think we'll be done by then. So I think we'll watch DS9 with Marlo here. That's the plan.
What does he do, if you don't mind me asking?
He's a handyman. He's an electrician.
Oh, brilliant.
We're currently renovating his house, or our house, I guess it is. That's
Still
what we're doing.
Can't quite believe it.
No, it's so because our house is so far away from work. During the week, I've been staying with my parents until today. So actually, I moved my last things over here today as well, and it's really surreal. It's so cool.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's amazing.
And do you have any? Is there a little teeny bit of land outside the house, or is there a little garden or anything like that you can do stuff in?
Yes, we do have a garden. It's quite. I think it's quite big. I think to certain people have like really enormous gardens. We still have his mother's old rose bushes that are also about I think 3 meters high. I think it must be.
Oh, and they really enjoy be brutal. They love being chopped.
Yeah,
they'll come right back.
So far we haven't done anything with the garden because the inside of the house was just too much. But I have plans for strawberries, and I don't know what they're called. These really, really tiny red ones. They're in red and in black. The really small.
Wild strawberries. We call them in the UK. We call them wild strawberries if we're talking about the same thing. And they are the perfect thing because they do quite well in quite shady areas, and they're a perfect grass replacement. So you can actually walk on the plants as long as you don't jump around, but you can just walk around through the wild strawberries. Nice. And they're much sweeter and more delicious than the strawberries you get in the big ones that you get from the farm.
Like Germans are very particular about their gardens.
Right.
And our neighbor, my boyfriend's laughing in the background. Our neighbor, she's this very classical, noisy old lady, and she has this really trimmed, it almost looks like a golf course, her garden, and all the bushes are around, and she hates it. And sometimes she comes over and is like, excuse me, can you get rid of your plants because the seeds are coming over, and now I have a flower in my lawn, like one flower in my lawn. Oh my God. And we're just like, there's like bees, they need food.
That person's garden is the worst kind of garden for being friendly to all the animals and all the insects, because it's like a desert, and everything's so manicured and cut back, and there's no seeds and there's no fruit.
She doesn't have bees. We have bees.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So anyway, I'm off onto weird subjects I'm not really that expert in, but I like to sound expert.
You certainly know more than me. I'm like, I always get into fights with other people because I say everything that's taller than me is obviously not a bush, it's a tree. So I'm 150. Everything is a tree. There's like grass that's a tree for me, apparently.
It's so lovely catching up with you, Mimi.
It was so lovely to see you.
I'm hoping that you can come and talk to us once all this is past and you're happily married and your next school year has begun, because I suspect you're going to be in a bit of a whirlwind till then. So I really respect you. You're so generous for even making time to come and talk to us now, because really you don't have time.
It's absolutely fine. I miss everyone here and I miss this atmosphere. I'm really glad to be back.
Thank
Bye.
you. Congratulations on all the things.
Thank you.
There's a lot of things.
It is a lot of things.
Yeah.
I love how she just casually slipped in. We're also renovating a house.
I know.
All right, we are going to go talk to Sylvian, and this is his first time.
Hi.
Chatting with you.
Yeah. Hello.
Nice to meet you, my friend.
Nice to meet you too. This is it's a bit of a strange one actually, because it doesn't feel real. I'm talking to myself and I'm pretending to talk to someone in my imagination, but okay.
It's real. It's totally real.
It's bizarre.
Where are you? Are you in northeast UK? Whereabouts
I
are you
am.
coming?
Very, very apt of you to pick up that accent. But yeah, I'm based in well, I live in Middlesbrough, up in the northeast, just about 20 miles south of Newcastle.
Beautiful part of the world. Some of it.
Sorry, what was that?
I said it's a beautiful part of the world. Then I went, some of it. Some of it's
very inspirational.
It's getting more and more beautiful every year.
It's weirdly enough, we where we live, we're about 20 miles, well, we're about 10-15 miles from the sea, and then about 10-15 miles from the countryside. So it's it really is, we're in like a really lovely place, and we've got some, like I say, it's all right where I live.
That coastline is gorgeous though. I used to go to summer camp up there.
Oh, wow.
When I was a little one. And it was just gorgeous. And we had just a lot of fun. It was just great fun. Are you a locomotive fan, or is that someone else's stuff on the wall behind you?
Yeah, I am. I am a massive train geek.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, since I was 6 months old, and I have my mum to blame for that. Reading me Tons of Tank Engine, and it stuck. And I have. I mean, we'll quickly show you. I mean, it's half done because we've just moved in, but I literally have just created the walls just full of trays.
Oh my goodness, you have.
Obviously, someone's nightmare, but not mine. But
that's fantastic. You moved in just recently.
It's quite nice.
Congratulations, my goodness.
Yeah.
What a monumental step, mate. That is one of the. You are one of the very special people who has been able to pull that off, because no one gets to do that these days.
Yeah, I mean, I should know, because I work in mortgages anyway, so I know how hard it is at the moment for young people, and there's a lot of stuff going around especially in the UK, about how young people are being irresponsible with the money, and truth be told, it's just becoming crazy at the moment. So
it's not fair. It's not fair. It's a totally different world. It's things are just way more expensive, and everyone's much more leery, especially since the crash in 2007-8. Of giving mortgages to youngsters, whereas people were much more accepting back in the day and let you get away with murder,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Just to bore people to death with what I do, not the most interesting.
No, it is interesting. It is interesting. Are you a broker, or are you someone who?
No, I'm nowhere near as interesting as a broker.
Are you an advisor?
No, to be honest with you, I work in a call center, so I have a love-hate relationship with brokers and financial advisors and conveyancers, because it's either they're not doing the job properly, the conveyancers are not doing the job properly, or we're not doing the job properly, and it's one of those three that we're always going to have.
Well, how? So you're pretty young, so you haven't. Is that what's your? What are you thinking in the big picture? Do you want to start your own business? Do you do you want to work on locomotives? Do you want to build a steam locomotive?
Well, I've already got a steam locomotive.
Really?
It's not a ride on one. My missus put the foot down on that because she thinks I look ridiculous just riding around on a half-side steam locomotive. Years ago, I had lots of disposable income, which I no longer have. And I decided, at the cost of about $1,500 and an ex-girlfriend, to buy it's like a little live steam one. It trundled around my parents' back garden, and then
fantastic.
It's at the moment it's in a bit of a tight state, so it needs a bit of work doing to it. But I bought one of those.
Who's opposite you? Is that your partner?
Come on, man. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're gonna drag you in here if you're not careful.
Yeah, exactly. She's terrified.
You're allowed to eavesdrop.
I was getting excited all week about this because I thought, well, I've been watching this for about 2 years, and I go, well,
you've been watching this for 2
years. 2 years. Well, yeah, but
that's amazing, mate. That really is.
No, well,
and you finally got the bottle to come and actually have a chat.
Well, yeah, it's really strange actually, because I don't even know how I found this group, to be honest with you. I think I must have been, don't take this the wrong way, I must have been Googling you somewhere along the lines, because everywhere I'd be watching something, because obviously I'm a Trekkie as well as a train fan, and you know, I really, as you probably get all the time, really love DS9, and
I like hearing that. Thank you.
And well, weird thing is, I'd be watching something. Obviously, I'd run through my full run of DS9, and I'd be done for that for the year. And then suddenly I'd be watching, for example, I'd be watching Peaky Blinders, and I'd be like, "Hang on,
oh God, that's him again."
And apparently you were the gouty guy in Game of Thrones, and I was like,
I was the gouty guy. I appreciate that. Observation.
Sorry, that was all. I'll get her on next time.
She's welcome anytime, or if she doesn't want to, she doesn't have to.
But anyway, I was just started then going, well, I'll have a look, Google, see what he's up to. This came up, and I was like, oh, so it was really strange seeing it. Anyway, I realized you talked to people through the pandemic, but I'd missed the beginning of it. But yeah, I kind of found out about it. Well, weirdly enough, it was when I was modeling my trains, because I do all sorts of different trains and stuff. And I came up with it. I was like, this is really interesting. And I'd be playing the full, whilst I was building like model airplanes and model trains.
I love all that stuff. I used to do that when I have I Airfix with the company.
Yes.
I just bought everything. I was particularly into planes and boats.
Yeah.
And I loved it. And getting it right and not getting the glue everywhere. And, you know.
And weirdly enough, it's actually when I started building the planes, I started watching this. And I've started to build the planes as well. And it's
really therapeutic, isn't it? I mean, and you really take pride in it. Do you have anything around you can show us? Would that be a bit cheeky to ask?
No, not in the slightest. Been building one of these, which is for anyone who is particularly interested, is called a Harrogate Gasworks Peckett. It's a double on 9 gauge engine, so it runs on really tiny tracks.
Yeah,
I got about as small as this one.
Look at that! That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I hope your partner likes trains. Otherwise, you're kind of screwed.
She does tolerate them, and she tolerates the little ones, but she likes the big ones. And my son really likes them.
How old's your boy?
3.5. So it's lovely because at the moment he's starting nursery about a couple of months ago, and it's just there was on our Facebook they sometimes put pictures of them, and he went to the local shops with his friends today, and they showed pictures of it, and it was I was at work, I was on my break, and my missus showed me it, and Laura showed me it, and I was like,
that's too adorable. That's too great.
Weird balance being a parent of a toddler, because it's 50% of the time is absolute adoration, achievement, and
the rest of the time you're pulling your hair out,
and the rest of the time you're
going nuts. I know they can do that to you. It's very hard, no matter what everyone says. How did you guys do during the COVID thing? I mean, I'm guessing he probably brought you together as a family.
Yeah, it did actually. We're quite insular people, so we, socially enough, we didn't necessarily need or want anything. So for at least for the first few weeks, it was fine. And weirdly enough, I actually managed to build my railway in the garden during that time. And then
fantastic.
It was. I was proper chuffed. But
you are a lunatic, aren't you? You really are full throttle. You are full throttle locomotive.
I'm very
Is it Rod Stewart who's a major rail enthusiast?
He's been doing around. I think he moved back to the UK recently, and his is just crazy. It's like it's like a Batman city. It's crazy. It's like,
yeah, I've seen it on
how
TV.
he's done it. He's kind of the British version, so a little bit more reined in. And he's done a couple. He actually bought out I think he bought out a council house once, and he just had it thing for his model railway, and it was absolutely...
that is the ultimate insult. That's the ultimate FU to the British institution, isn't it? I'm buying a council house just for my model railway.
You know what?
I'm going to make sure another family has nowhere to move.
That to me is an attitude to live by.
Well, listen, Sylvian, thank you for plucking up courage and coming to say hi. Not that it took much courage in the end. And come and say hi more. We'd like to see outside your what you're building in the backyard.
I will in a couple of months, but yeah, but it's not
massively into show and tells. Massively love to see anything. And Laura,
yes,
you are going to have to get in front of the camera sometime.
Oh, wait, don't move the computer.
No. Hi, nice to meet you.
I'm not prepared for this tonight.
Come and talk to me.
I might.
Please.
Thank you so
much. Nice to
catch the story.
I said thank you very much for doing this anyway. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I've really enjoyed it all, really, from when I'm watching the videos. So.
What could be worse than talking to people like you? Loads of them.
Likewise. I couldn't argue with
very
that.
much.
Thanks, Sylvian and Laura. All right, we are all going to talk to Kim. It's also her first time. No, it's not her first time. It is her first time.
It is.
Hi.
I got myself confused about which Kim.
I know. Oh, hi, Sid. I got to meet Nana the other day on Galaxy.
Oh, wonderful.
It's so nice of you guys to talk to your fans and spend extra time with everybody. I really find that fascinating.
Yeah, it's fascinating for me. And so, I mean, Nana's always been chatty with everybody. She's always been really generous with her time, and she's never changed. Same for Terry. Terry Farrell's the same. So that's a beautiful sunset you've got behind you.
Thank you so much. This is Laguna Beach in California.
Yes.
I went to a nice restaurant here with a friend of ours.
Are you California based?
I am. I'm actually in Anaheim.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm a bit older myself, but I went back to school.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and I just got a certificate, a vocational certificate from Coastline Community College.
Fantastic. Congratulations, Kim.
Thank you.
So what sort of things do you learn in this vocational course?
Oh, we learned how to do a head-to-tail check on any type of animal, and dogs, cats. We looked for, like, do the eyes look the same? Like, we start looking at the top, and then we work our way down. And are there any is there any missing fur? Is there anything going on inside? Are there any broken bones or anything like that? And all the way to the tail, depending on what kind of animal. And
So would you be like, for example, you're like a sort of animal paramedic?
A little bit like a vet tech, yeah.
I mean, you're like the first person on the scene who can, before, the vet can do something because the vet's miles away.
Right.
So what inspired you to go back to school?
Well, I have a bit of a learning disability, but my learning disability makes me interested in so many things.
Yeah.
But that first, inkling, it was thanks in many parts to watching sci-fi like Star Trek, and we were old enough to remember, Lost in Space. We had a Lost in Space toy set when we were kids.
Yeah, I loved Lost in Space.
Yeah.
How were your family? How are you and your family during COVID? Are you all okay?
Well, thank you so much for asking. Well, my dad is older now, and he's in a border care home. And I play the harp, and I'm hoping that I can take the harp to him. And I'm interested in, on this side, I've got so many interests. being a healthcare musician on the side. And
what a great idea! What a great thing to do on the side.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a difficult instrument to move around. So how you get that's a tricky piece of luggage.
It is. I use the carts to chug it around, and I'm looking to get a smaller harp to do more.
That seems like a sensible idea.
I play
a lyre. Are they called
like
lyres?
a lyre.
Yeah, you just get a thing and just like, there you go. I'm Cupid.
Oh my goodness. I'm in a little group. We have 3 harps. My mom's playing the flute.
Wonderful.
And we go to retirement homes when we can, when we're able to.
What a gorgeous thing to do.
Doing that.
How wonderful. What a generous thing to do. That's such a lovely thing to do, given the fact that it's unbelievably impractical taking 3 harps anywhere. That is amazing that you do that. Do you love, what drew you to the harp? Have you been playing it all your life, or is it a recent thing?
When I was little, I started playing the violin first.
Mm-hmm.
But I had a bit of a mild tremor, so I kind of gave up, sadly, the violin.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, the harp, no matter what, the harp sounds great.
How innovative.
And I always wanted to play the harp because I just thought it was so beautiful.
And it looks so beautiful. And it's such an elegant instrument. Yeah.
Very elegant. And
yeah.
Finally, I picked it up years later, about 11 years ago.
Wow. That's amazing, because it's quite a rare instrument for people to play. I mean, it's a difficult instrument to do professionally, because how many orchestras have more than one harp, So that's a really tough. So very few kids are encouraged to play it, because they can, if they're really serious, because the competition is intense to go professional with it. But it's such a gorgeous instrument, and one of the very few instruments that works almost better just by itself than with an orchestra. It's really a soloist instrument. And so do you have your family around you, or are you playing for your cat?
Pretty much I played for my cat. What's funny is when I play the piano, sometimes she'll jump up on the piano and actually meow. She'll like literally meow on pitch.
Oh my goodness. So you're quite a musician. You've got lots. You're into all sorts of music.
I love all sorts of music. And yeah, I got my bachelor's degree over 20 years ago.
How do you feel about, because you're in California, which is sort of one of the hotbeds of, I'm not going to get all political on you, but one of the hotbeds of all the political action that's been going on with trying to recall the governor, and then this, and then the people are really angry over there and they're not here, and blah, blah, blah.
The funny thing is, in my family, people are half Republican and half Democrat for some reason. It's so funny. My dad, one time, he wanted to get me a Make America Great Again hat, and my mom was like dead set against it.
That's hilarious. How did they live together? Well, you know what? That's really interesting, because they lived together just fine for years, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And recently, has it become an issue? Because we weren't at each other's throats even 10 years ago. We
all got it. Even though we have different beliefs, we all love each other.
Yeah, but now we seem to really hate each other, and that's it.
That's so sad, really.
Isn't it? It's so un-American. And what do you like to relax? Do you like to hike? I in my head, I've got a picture of you wandering around, the beautiful countryside in Anaheim.
Oh, I have another background where I visited the Natural History Museum. I don't know if you could see the
oh
butterfly.
Yeah, is that a red monarch? Is that what they're called?
Monarch butterfly.
Monarch.
And we used to go there with my lovely parents every year.
There was a butterfly exhibition at the Tate Gallery in London about, I guess it was a decade ago, because I think it was last year, but I'm now at an age where everything I think happened last year, someone tells me that was 10 years ago. And they speak a little louder because they don't think I can hear very well.
Oh.
And but they had an exhibit of just the life cycle of butterflies, and that from cocoon to death. And you walked into this room and they were all everywhere.
Wow.
Hundreds and thousands, tens of thousands of them.
It's almost like as if we're all programmed when we see a butterfly to, to have that element of awe and surprise of nature.
Absolutely. Kim, it's been such a pleasure meeting you. It
nice
really
to
has.
meet you.
And I hope you come back lots, and we'd love to find out more about you.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks so much again. It's a wonderful pleasure being here with everyone. I enjoy hearing everybody's stories.
I might be able to hear a little bit of the harp one day. That would be pretty cool.
Oh, I will have to try that.
Fingers crossed.
Like that? Next
time you feel, if you feel like it, you're allowed to change your mind right up until the last minute. Actually, you're allowed to change your mind right in the middle of it. I'm done. So please, you have an open invitation.
Thanks, Kim. All right, we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. All right, and also a reminder that our next meeting is Tuesday, since June's calendar days fell weird. Our last meeting
Tuesday coming, like in 3 days.
June 28th. Yes.
Okay.
So, okay, so I'll put that reminder.
So I'm the one who needs to remember. Well, everyone needs to remember, but I'm the one who needs to remember too.
Okay, that'll be in your follow-up.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Mel. Thanks, everybody. Have a lovely weekend.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Mel.